Hello. So today is an update. 10 pounds down and 2 ounces. 10 pounds, 2 ounces down in 6 days. This was my sixth complete day. And this morning I woke up and the weight loss, at first was a pound point, 1.2 pounds a day. Then one day it was like 2.6 in a day or something like that, 2.8, 2.6. And this morning was the most ever. It was 3 pounds down from yesterday. And yesterday I even cheated. I ate some chocolate and almonds and half of Sprite that was in my fridge that I had not drunk. I drink a soft drink every occasion. And there was one in there and I kept looking at it and I thought I was watching the Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk fight and I said, you know what? I'm losing weight. I'm doing good. I'll at least maintain because this thing's powerful and I'll probably still lose. And I did. I lost more. So this is awesome. I thought of only couple of reasons why I may have lost more last night. I was wearing these energy patches that burn more fat during the day if you're active. And I was a little bit active yesterday, moving some things around. And also, I swished some glutathione that I take sometimes that has helped me in a few other ways. And I happen to do that before bed. And I know that sometimes the body holds on to toxins in your fat cells and it resists you from burning fat a little bit. And I learned years ago from a company called E.S.S that happens. And I had heard that before, didn't know if it was true, but they are and were a very big company. So their research seemed to be very solid. So they had a product for that. So I wonder if the glutathione may have contributed. But still, these are just little add-ons. The main part of the diet is not based on exercise being required at all or any supplements at all. All you've got to do is just be a little bit active, normal, not just sit on the couch all day. And even then you'll still lose some weight for, a little to a point. So even if you're just normal active, it's going to work for you. I just moved some furniture around yesterday and was moving some things around. So that's really it as far as my activity yesterday. So it really works, folks. Here's the deal. It's based on 3 cycles. The first cycle is the time of the day from 4 a.m. till noon in which your body wants to take in new nutrition. And it's also detoxing at that time. So it doesn't want anything heavy. But it wants fuel. So you want living food, and by that, pre-digested living food. What is that? It's simple. It's called all fruit other than bananas. It's heavy water content food. It's pears and apples and grapes and berries and oranges and tangerines and tangelos and grapefruit and watermelon and cantaloupe and all that stuff. Honeydews and pineapple, fresh pineapple, nothing dried and nothing canned. It has to be fresh. And you eat from 4 a.m. if you wake up that early. I don't. But if you eat from 4 a.m. till noon, at least 2 servings of fruit, at least, aim for 30 minutes apart. And it can be an hour apart. It could be 2 hours apart. It could be 30 minutes apart, but you want 2 servings till you're reasonably satisfied. And I have found in my research through the years, because the original program said no coffee or tea, but I have found that unsweetened and no artificial sweeteners, just straight black coffee actually spikes metabolism and does not stop the digestion. Now, that's my experience. That's based on my research. I tried it, and I think I'm losing weight just as fast as I did years ago, maybe even a little faster. So black coffee's in. And, if you want green tea, I've tried that before at night when I just was craving something. after supper, and I did put a little honey in it, just straight honey. And according to the keto guys, that's really bad. But you know what? I lost weight the next day. This is more flexible. The next thing you do is from 12 noon until 8 p.m. That's when your primary feeding is, because you're no longer detoxing at all, right? And your digestive system takes more energy than any system of the body. So fruit doesn't take much digestion, yet it hydrates you. It gives you enzymes, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and energy and natural sugar, right, in the source of fiber and the enzymes and the so forth that's in it, that doesn't keep, when you don't have fat in your diet as much, you don't spike insulin with fruit. You might with something else, but even then they say if you're completely fat free, but I'm not, right? So let me tell you what happens. You can eat anything from 12 to 8 p.m., but here's the one catch. You don't want to mix your starches with your proteins. Many starches are bad anyway, but natural, like breads, right? Sourdough is a little better, they say, because it doesn't have much gluten in it. But it's not about gluten, but either way, you can eat potatoes and rice, but you don't want to eat it with a protein and so forth, because the fat your digestion isn't as good, and the fat will store a little more from the fat of that animal protein, right? So you can eat some protein, like there's protein in there's a little bit of protein in even fruit. Most people don't realize that. It's amino acids, it's in there. Why do you think gorillas are 95% vegetation eaters? They eat like 60 pounds of vegetation a day or something like that. It's crazy. A lot of leaves and fruit too, and bananas, and they eat some insects, right? That's their protein sources, and yet they're the strongest, one of the strongest mammals on earth. Like they can take a human and just tear them in half very easily. Much stronger than we are, yet they don't consume any meat to speak of, right? Very, very little, if any. And it's because they're getting amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. And there's even, did you know there's even fat in an apple? A little bit, not much, but it's there. You're getting fat. Your body gets what it needs primarily from fruit and vegetables anyway. But you can eat. I know it's the opposite of what everybody's out there saying, because they're marketing a lot of, keto programs, and there's some truth to it. There really is. But this is a whole nother way of looking at it. This is digestion and metabolism based, not hormone based, but it works and you feel more energy. Listen, throughout the history of man, we were hunter-gatherers, but we'd go out and gather and eat berries and apples and fruit. You know what we do? We wouldn't mix them. We would eat apples at an apple tree till we were full. Then we'd go on and try to find a kill once in a while and eat a lot of meat, but we weren't eating them together, and that's the key. You got to think natural. How was it traditionally? We've gotten convenience and spoiled as a result, and we've gotten away from the natural balance. So what you have to do is pick. But bread starch is bad. Potato starch is good. Potatoes are good for you. In fact, if you look at the longest living people on earth, a lot of them eat a lot of potatoes, especially the yams, the sweet potatoes. Like in Japan, they do the purple sweet potatoes, which are I've eaten them. They're very similar to our regular sweet potatoes. Not much difference in the makeup, yet these people live a lot to 100, very healthy and more. And so that's one of the things they eat. Over 90% of their diet is sweet potatoes, a little bit of fish, and other vegetables. It's crazy that we think it's all about meat, and it's not. It really isn't. Your digestion improves a lot. In fact, the founder of the version of the diet that I'm adhering to 95% was Harvey Diamond, and he started only because he had his whole life digestive issues. His father had it and died in his 50s, bad digestive issues. Well, Harvey had it too, and age 25, he was suffering bad. He was in the army and he was suffering. His digestion was terrible, and he was always dealing with digestive aids and things, and it just limited him, and he was suffering every day of his life. He said it was constant. It wasn't just some days. It was every day of his life. He was just in pain from bad digestion. And he heard about this. He tried it, the food combining and the fruit and the pre-digested food, which is fruit. And his digestion cleared right up. His indigestion went away. His stomach pains went away. His heartburn went away. Everything that he was experiencing bad with his digestion cleared up in days. And he started to lose a lot of weight. He was overweight. He lost at one point 50 pounds in 30 days, focusing on more so fruit. So it works. You can't. And he said he had way more energy, and his digestion improved. His blood work improved. Everything, his skin improved, his sleep improved. It is the key. It's God's primary food is accessible. It's called fast food, fruit. You don't have to cook it, prepare it, or anything. And Harvey calls it living food. Everything that's alive still has the enzymes and all the vitamins and minerals it's undenatured and it's ready to go, right? You might peel it or whatever, and that's it. And sometimes you don't do that. A pear or something or a peach, you just eat apple, you just eat it. Grapes. And so, yes, organic's better. If you can do it, do that. But it's not absolutely necessary to lose weight and to feel better. It probably is a noticeable difference in the long haul, but in the short term, there's not much difference to you, right? So the next thing is, going back to what I was saying on 12 noon to 8 p.m., it's about eating whatever you want within reason. That doesn't mean Coca-Cola. That doesn't mean a bunch of dairy. Dairy is considered not good. Almond milk might be better, especially if it's unsweetened. It would be better. Soy might be better. There's some debate there, but a lot of the experts say soy actually is okay. They're coming back around to it, especially if you're a woman. It helps your estrogen. The soy actually helps. The reason they linked it to that was one inconclusive study years ago. I had a guy that was working for the world's largest nutraceutical company in the world, and he was the head of the whole thing. And he told me, yeah, that was based on a study years ago that got put in a magazine, and then it went viral to everywhere, and everybody read it, but they didn't find out the rest of the story. When you eat soy, there's more estrogens in your blood, but those estrogens are being blocked. Soy is an estrogen blocker. It kept the estrogens that were already in the body or coming in, or however it works, it kept it from going into the cells because it blocked them. So there was more estrogens hanging out in the blood. So the initial study concluded, without further asking why there's more estrogen in the blood, they concluded that soy produced more estrogens, but it doesn't. Still, soy is, according to Harvey and some others I've read, is sort of the bottom feeder of the soil. It does soak up toxins. So if they're around sprays and pesticides, and it's questionable. Soy is questionable for that reason. But if you need it for whatever reason, balance women's hormones or whatever, or if you're a man, a little bit, it's not going to hurt you in the short term. So off of that tangent, so from 12 to 8, you're going to eat whatever meat you want, as long as it's one meat. Don't mix chicken and steak. Have chicken, have steak, have turkey, have fish, have pork. I don't think pork is the cleanest meat, but, because it is known to have, worms in it, for lack of parasites. And, if I ever eat pork, I microwave it also, because that can probably kill whatever's in there. Do your own research, make your own mind up. I still eat it occasionally. And them bacon and eggs, man, it's once in a while I want it. sausage with mustard, man, once in a while I want it, right? But it's probably the least healthy meat. Fish is probably the healthiest meat, but now we have all this mercury and aluminum, all different things going on in the oceans, and some fish is questionable as well, the toxins out there. So, but it's it's got the omegas, it's good. Eggs, eat eggs, whatever you want, but don't mix it with a starch, even a good starch like a potato or a yam or sweet potato. Don't mix it. You can have that one meat and all the different vegetables you want in that meal. You can spice it up. You can some might not recommend it, but I use butter still. Butter is better than margarine. It's less, it's more fatty, but it's less plastic. Like margarine is plastic-ish butter, and it doesn't melt at room temperature the same as regular butter, so it sticks in your arteries and it builds up slower, but it doesn't digest and doesn't process out like butter does. So butter, your body can process, right? It's a dairy, but your body can process it. So if you're going to have dairy, limit it. Probably have that occasional ice cream or that shake or whatever, or that milk. But here's the deal: you don't want to mix proteins and starches, because the proteins require an acidic digestive juice. The starches require an alkaline digestive juice. What happens when you mix alkalinity and acidity? They tend to negate each other. So what happens in your digestive system, according to everything I've read, and Harvey Diamond goes into it deep, is even Anthony Robbins attests to this. If you know who Tony Robbins is, he's a believer and follower in this, and he does a lot of research. And if you know who he is, you know that's true. You don't mix them because it takes forever to digest, and it putrefies that meat in your colon and stomach and colon and digestive system, your large intestine, somewhere in there it starts putrefying because it doesn't break down correctly or like it should, and it actually causes you to be more toxic and hold on to weight, and your metabolism is slower than it should be. So, and you don't feel as good for a reason. But if you eat that steak or that hamburger without the bun, or that steak without, any potatoes, you can digest it much better and correctly, and you'll feel better, and you won't hold as much of it, right? So yes, there's the sugar idea with the keto guys about no bread or no starch, but there's a different reason not to combine them, and that's the digestive process. So I can have a steak. In fact, I may have one today, but I'm not going to have it till afternoon, right? And so, but this morning I've eaten some fresh pineapple, some strawberries, and I had some honeydew this morning. So those are my two different servings. I did have 3 different fruits. Usually you should stick to 1 fruit at a time. I'm a little free with it. I'm not super strict, but it's working. If it's not working as good for you as you'd like, maybe just do it a more strict. 1 fruit at a time till you're full, and then you can do another fruit. That's the strictest version of this. The other thing is, so you can have your salad, no croutons, with your steak. You can have no garlic bread or whatever, no steak bread, toast, no steak toast or whatever with your steak. Just the steak, and you can have green beans, you can have whatever vegetables you want, as long as it's not corn, because corn is starchy vegetable, right? But don't have rice with it, don't have potatoes with it. If you rather not eat something heavy, you can have all the potato and vegetable you want. You could have a potato and a salad, 2 potatoes and a salad. You could have rice in the salad. You can have beans and a salad, all the beans you want. Beans are actually super healthy for you if they're definitely cooked correctly, right? So you can put spices on it. You can even use some salt. This is not salt restrictive. I do believe in using salt with some sodium added. You can look that up because it reduces heart attacks and strokes by 50% in 10 years. They did a study using that salt versus the other salt. I also believe in Himalayan salt because it has all the minerals in it as well, just not as big a proportion as potassium to balance out the salt, to keep your pressure a little stable. Some people are not salt sensitive and you have all the regular salt you want. So just salt how to taste and you're good. The other thing, because salt has some benefits too, especially when it's hot in the summer, it keeps you holding water and not getting dehydrated. You add salt and you drink the water and it holds it into the cells and you're not getting dehydrated. The other thing is you can use all the spices you want. Spices can actually help the taste, but also spices can help thermogenesis, especially the hot spices, right? So your salad, just put whatever you want on it. Just keep away from the croutons if you're eating meat. But you can have the croutons, although it's a bread, and take that in moderation because breads will slow your progress. You can still eat them, but listen, here's the challenge. You don't want to eat a ham sandwich or a turkey and ham sandwich or a bologna sandwich. Why? Because that's a fat, that's an animal protein mixed with a starch. You don't do it. You have to separate it. So it's a little bit taxing, but it works. You can still have the steak. You can still have the potatoes. You can still eat your rice and your corn. Just do it in the right meal. Even corn you can eat, but that's a starch meal, not a animal protein meal, right? You can eat some nuts. Keep them to a reasonable amount. You can eat, Brazil nuts are good for cholesterol, they say. I've noticed it dropped mine significantly for a month, though. But, you eat what you want. You can eat peanuts. Peanuts are full of toxins, mycotoxins, look it up. But you can eat peanuts if you want. You can eat anything you want, basically. Almonds, cashews, eat your nuts. And you can have them salted. Just don't have them, it's better to have them raw, right? But anyway, then the last principle of it is 8 p.m. you stop eating. 8 p.m. Ideally, you should go 12 hours eating window. So from the morning when you first eat fruit to the night at 8 p.m., you really shouldn't be eating anything. You need your body needs a 12-hour break to get the best result. You don't have to on this. If you wake up at 4 a.m. and want to eat some fruit or have some black coffee, do it. Do it. But that would be an 8-hour break, right? From 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. That would be the shortest break. Once in a while, I have cheated and I've eaten something at 9:30 at night and I still lose the next morning because this works. But I've tried to make a smart choice. Like I put some almond milk, unsweetened almond milk in a blender and threw some cherries in there and a little bit of protein powder because I still think it's good because I'm lifting weights to add a little bit of protein. But that's probably not accurate, but that's just what I believe at the moment, right? So anyway, whatever you want, that's the principles. Cut off eating at 8 p.m., start eating your heavy food at noon, and that's vegetables and starches or vegetables and animal proteins. Do not mix the starches and the proteins together. Limit your bread. It's bad for you. Limit your whole grains. They're hard to digest, that kind of starch, and it can lead to some other issues and weight gain. Look what they feed cows to fatten them up. A lot of grain, right? It's grains are at best questionable, at worst very bad. So oatmeal might be the exception. I think oatmeal is really good for you in so many ways, and there's been a lot of studies on it. I've heard the other arguments from some people that say it's not good, but when I researched further, they're pretty much idiots that only looked at part of the story. It's because they eat so much animal protein that the oatmeal spikes their insulin. If they ate less animal protein and nothing but fruit in the morning and then had oatmeal, it wouldn't spike their insulin because there's the absence of fat in their stomach and digestive system, except you have some You could be eating fat at 8 the evening before, animal protein at 8 the night before, but at least you're giving it hopefully a 12-hour break, and most of it's digested by then. So the other thing is, when you eat heavy food, this is just a bonus, take digestive enzymes. From 12 to 8 p.m., if you can afford some digestive enzymes, they will save you from headaches. They will keep your metabolism healthy, your digestion healthy, and you'll probably lose more weight by doing that if you're adhering to this. Digestive aids are helpful, especially if it's, enzymes. So probiotics will help speed up your results, but again, are not necessary. You're going to help your microbiome by doing this as well, because you should be eating more of a variety of vegetables, more of a variety of fruits. That's actually good for your biome. Most people don't eat enough fruit. They don't. And there was a study years ago that looked at a bunch of variations of what's the leading cause of an early death. And this study looked at fruit consumption included as one of the things, along with, other things like processed foods and smoking and inactivity. And it found that actually the lack of eating fruit contributed to an early death more so than smoking. And it was shocking to the researchers, but that's what the study showed. So eating some fruit, most people, again, they're shy on fruit. You need to eat more, as long as it's fresh fruit, not dried fruit or canned fruit. Fresh fruit only. And, some people like to juice. If you want to juice, as long as it's fresh juice, not bought juice in a can or a bottle. Fresh juice that's not pasteurized. Fresh juice like you make in a juicer. That's okay too, but in the beginning, try to do it with just fruit, because it still has the fiber in it, all of it, and the natural source, and you'll lose weight faster than if you juice. Unless you just want to do a juice fast. Now that's understandable. But anyway, that's the outline I'm following. I am taking my nutrition supplements that I've always taken, but I take them starting at noon when I eat my first heavy meal. I'm only eating fruit until noon, at least 2 servings, 30 minutes apart, and black coffee or espresso, because I have a espresso maker that I really like. So with that, this is Rome outlining the program, giving you my results after 6 full days. I lost a ton of weight doing this years ago, and I had more energy than I've had in my whole life, except for maybe when I was a hyperactive kid when I did it. And I'm noticing more energy now. So it's not even been a week. I'm down over 10 pounds. Guys, this works. You don't have to limit sugar. I had a Sprite and some chocolate and almonds yesterday. That's not a good idea. Oh, and I didn't even properly food combine. I had a tuna fish sourdough sandwich yesterday with mayo. Okay, that's not good. But I just caved. And yet I still lost 3 pounds last night. This is powerful, guys. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking my heart healthy drink in the afternoon. I'm wearing my energy patches that speed the metabolism, and I am doing a little bit of glutathione, which helps detox the body, as well as my vitamin D, my K2, my methylated B vitamins, and my multiple that is from a good source, and a few other things that I take every day. And I'm starting to take digestive enzymes as a habit now in the afternoon. I wasn't doing that much, maybe once or twice this past week, but 6 days, but I'm trying to get in that habit. So very, very transparent, telling you the truth. This is flexible. If you're on a keto diet and you mess up one day, you're screwed up for days and days and days if you mess up with one meal. Here, you can have, when you get to your target weight, you can have a cheat day if you want, and you'll just resume. Not best ideal, but I'm certain I'm going to enjoy steak for many years to come. I'm certain I'm going to have eggs and bacon even occasionally. I might do turkey bacon. Pigs are not good, but right now I'm still eating regular bacon for the rest of my life. I'm going to do my best to proper food combine. You can look up food combining chart online and see more about it if you want to Look up Harvey Diamond, look up Fit for Life, learn more. There's a series of books. They're all good. It saved my life. Read what Tony Robbins says in his original Unlimited Power book about eating fruit and the power of it till noon. Tony Robbins lost 38 pounds in 30 days, and Harvey Diamond lost 50 pounds in 30 days. And so far, in the past, I lost about 30 pounds when I was barely 200 pounds, just over, and I lost 30 pounds in 12 weeks with it years ago. But now, and that was a lot for me back then, and I felt so good, but now I've lost 10.2 pounds in 6 days. And my energy is up today. I feel so good. And it's not from any added espresso. I just feel good. Energy. Wow. Of course, I'm wearing my energy patches, but they burn more fat and make you less wore out at the end of the day. But this is Rome. This is update for end of day 6. Rome out.